But still, you can't really fault Israel unless they were warned by more legit super awesome powers, like U.S. intelligence. As CNN even reported, U.S. intelligence warned of the potential for violence days before Hamas attack. As reported by the New York Times, Israel knew Hamas's attack plan more than a year ago. A blueprint reviewed by the Times laid out the attack in detail. The New York Times said, the approximately 40-page document, which the Israeli authorities codenamed Jericho Wall, outlined, point by point, exactly the kind of devastating invasion that led to the deaths of about 1,200 people. 40 pages? Yeah, but maybe Hamas didn't follow that plan at all, and Israel had no idea what was happening. Here's the New York Times again. Hamas followed the blueprint with shocking precision. So Israel was warned by the U.S., warned by the spotters, for years, warned by the literal Hamas blueprints. Is there anybody else who would like to warn Israel about Hamas's attack? Oh, Egypt warned Israel days before Hamas struck. And Hamas fighters openly practiced their maneuvers near the Gaza fence. Calling this a secret mission is like calling a popular TikTok dance trend a secret mission. Anyone else wanna get in on warning Israel October 7th was gonna happen? From PBS, Hamas also posted video of mock attack on social media weeks before border breach. Yet, despite all of this, here's the BBC reporting on the attack. Surprise was crucial in Hamas's assault. Israeli intelligence failed to get inside the planning by Hamas for the attack. Surprise was crucial. Well done, BBC. You've got the investigative reporting skills of a drunk ferret. On top of all of that, Netanyahu and others held back the IDF from military responses throughout the key hours during the morning of October 7th. What would you say if I told you Israel knew exactly what was going to happen on October 7th, pulled soldiers away from the area, ignored all surveillance, didn't respond for a long time, and then when they finally responded, they murdered hundreds of their own people intentionally? Then they wiped the surveillance footage and buried the mountains of evidence? Would you think perhaps some people in power wanted it to happen? No, never. Because in order to believe that, you'd have to think Israel didn't mind the deaths of their own people. Oh, that's right. They murdered hundreds of their people on the day alone. But what about the Nova Music Festival? A lot of the worst of October 7th took place at that festival, so clearly Israel didn't know anything was going to happen or they would not have allowed that festival location. Well actually, as covered by Billboard magazine, the Nova Festival was not originally intended to take place at the Reem site, with organizers moving it to this location only 2 days before it started. The festival goers were put in that location at the last minute, as IDF spotters were saying Hamas was preparing to do exactly what they did. Great idea. Let's hold Coachella on the site of Fukushima. Should be fun. Former intelligence officer for the CIA Philip Hiraldi said, so, given all of the evidence, there likely was no intelligence failure to anticipate and counter the Hamas attack. Rather, there was a political decision made by the Israeli government that knew what might be coming and chose to let it proceed to provide a casus belli to destroy Gaza. The evidence shows Israel, at minimum, allowed it to happen to justify their genocide in Gaza. Let's finish with this. Just days before that fateful day that Israel has used to murder hundreds of thousands and start multiple wars, Benjamin Netanyahu stood in front of the UN and held up a map with Gaza and the West Bank erased. So do you think he was looking for a way to achieve the thing that he told the world he wanted to achieve?